Hi ninjas, how are you guys doing? It's your girl Owamie aka Miss Fearful, coloring back for all entertainment. If it's your first time joining me, almost definitely welcome. Please do make sure that you subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you, and do not forget, follow me on Instagram, TikTok and Twitter. It's at boldly Owamie. Now my ninjas, today I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on the situation that happened there by Mall of Africa. This is associated with the Twizzy group, and so due to the fact that the kids that were involved in this are actually underage, I am not gonna be able to post the videos. You guys know that I am very much against posting underage kids. Not that I can't, I can, I just choose not to for my own personal reasons. I do feel children should be given a chance to make their mistakes and not have their faces plastered everywhere, so that they can just have at least somewhat a normal adulthood. Until they mess up in their adulthood, that's when we're posting your face, okay? But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you guys from what I understand is actually going on. So Mall of Africa on the 25th, if I'm not mistaken, there's a group of kids, they call them Twizzy or something. I don't know if it was one gang against another, but they went to Mall of Africa and they were just causing havoc. From what I hear, allegations are saying that there is a child that got stabbed. Others are saying that he died. Others are saying that he's still in the hospital. Others are saying he's alive. Others are saying he's not. So I don't know exactly what happened when it comes to this whole story. But the videos that I saw were of a lot of kids, right? Like teenagers, just running around like hooligans. I'm not even going to lie. But there is something that I actually did realize. In me looking into these videos more, I realized that these kids were like wearing proper clothing, you know. And when I say proper clothing, I mean like there was a lot of kids that were wearing branded clothes, you know. I think that the country, like some of us, we literally underestimate how much it costs to get a Nike sneaker, you know, a Nike top, or you know, these jeans and stuff like that. Like those are expensive. So that's something that I actually realized to say, okay, it does seem like these kids are not necessarily from like the low and I feel like maybe middle class towards upper class, right? That's something that I saw, because at first I was like, but then I was like, does seem like these kids are actually like, you know, maybe most of them, a lot of them definitely look like they're from the middle class, you know, to the higher class, so like in between somewhere there, like their homes and stuff. And then they were running around, obviously, as I said, like hooligans. They definitely were causing chaos. It was just crazy. I was seeing a lot of adults just standing there looking at what is going on. They then went on to the outside part of Mall of Africa. If you know Mall of Africa, sorry, if I saw well, it seems like that's the side where the restaurants actually are. And then like there were a lot, guys. It was just, there was so much noise and everything. I can just imagine how business literally had to go in Mall of Africa that day, which is absolutely crazy. My thoughts on this, honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say this, you guys, and this is the reason why I was talking about how I observed and saw that no, these kids, they do seem like they're from the middle towards the upper class. Dear parents that are starting to have money, or you are a parent that has suffered a lot, or you are a parent that just ran into money, or you are a parent that this and this, you spoiling your child now is not gonna make up for the poverty that your child suffered when they were young or something. Wake up from that notion. You cannot make it up. You spoiling that child now, you're gonna cry for the rest of your life. I swear to God, like I'm not even like, there's a saying in Venda that says when you spoiled your child, there's nothing that can happen. But if maybe somebody wishes a child in Venda, they believe you can go to a stronger sangoma that can help your child. But if you spoiled your own child, ain't nobody doing anything for you, because there's no cure for that. You cannot cure a spoiled child. There's no cure. It doesn't exist. My heart bleeds for the future of this country due to the fact that there are people that are focused old people that are focused. I just watched the documentary. I'm still watching it, the part 1 that came out, because last time obviously I was just talking about the Hubert Angel situation and everything, but I had not sat down and actually watched the whole documentary. And in the documentary, the way that they were talking things like, child, these organized crimes that bigger than governments, these organized crimes that this and that, you know, you have got that Indian nigger that obviously, you know, he's just making sure that when it comes to Africa, like, the economy is going down the drain because these people are literally like laundering money at a high level, a very high level. They're literally thieving from Africa. And guess what, guys? These kids that are running in Mall of Africa, are they the ones that are supposed to fight for this country, for us to, like, for this country, for the future generation? Because they are supposed to be the future generation. Do you really see them actually, like, parents should stop spoiling their kids. If you look at majority of these children, you will realize that even if they come from household that have got mothers and fathers, they are still being raised in broken homes. So the father does whatever shit he wants, the mother does whatever crap she wants, and then everybody's just trying to get favor from the kids. So they let these kids literally run wild. If the child goes to the father, hey daddy, I need this, then the father has to, because he wants to look like the good person, because he ain't never around. And then if the child goes to the mother also has to make sure that, oh, you know, my child, because somehow the mother feels like, oh, you know, this child does not have enough attention from the father, or vice versa. This is the mother that is forever not there. The way that we as black people especially are choosing to say that we're gonna raise our kids is literally going to affect these children for the rest of their lives, especially middle going up classes. That's what I have seen, to say that these days is like there's a trend where parents just spoil their children. They spoil their kids because that child has an iPhone, my child has to have an iPhone, and my child has to have this, my child have to have that, because that child is wearing a sneaker that literally costs 15,000 rands. My child also has to have that sneaker that costs 15,000 rands. My child has to do this and this and this. And you will find parents, guys, up and down to make sure that my child is the best of the best, is the elite of the elite. But then again, are you looking at what type of a person are you raising? Because some of you are raising dunderheads that are wearing 15,000 rand sneakers. If you have got a child that is in their late teens, you know, 16, 17, 18, 19, somewhere there, and this child cannot mentally think for themselves, what are you raising? Are you equipping this child to actually think for themselves in adulthood? Like, what is the main goal? What is the end goal? Are you gonna provide for them for the rest of their lives? Because at the end of the day, as much as you are raising your kids in that way, we still have children that are from the lower class, children that are from the, you know, the streets of the poverty, where they grow up mentally, you can't even, and then already your child can't even. It's just, for me, honestly, I feel sorry for these kids. I feel sorry for these kids because they are literally victims of their parents, most of them. It's the way their parents choose to raise them. That's why they're running wild like this. And I'm not going to try and be like, oh, you know, this particular race is better than this one, or this particular race, this and that. I saw all those videos that were happening, and remember, guys, it was a lot of videos, so I'm sure there are other videos that I missed. But of all the children that were there, I never saw a single white child. I didn't see a single one. I did see some colored kids. They look colored because they're very light in complexion, but I do also understand we do have black kids that are very light. But I did see a very few. I only saw maybe about 2 or 3 children that looked colored. The rest were black, but I never saw a single white child. And when I was looking in these videos, I was also looking at it and I was like, I also just want to know, are white children also running around like hooligans? Then what is the difference? How is your child transporting themselves to Mall of Africa, and you as a parent, your teenager is going to Mall of Africa? You don't know. And if you know, why would you allow your child? The other part again that I always say is that that's why, guys, in order for one to have a child, I personally do believe that you need to be somewhat wholesome. You need to be someone that is financially stable. You need to be someone that is mentally stable, and you need to be someone that is also physically able to take care of these children that you're bringing into this world. Because sometimes if you just have the money, the child comes, Daddy or Mommy, can I please have 500 rands? I want to just go to the mall. Then okay, here's 500, because you're like, okay, at least Saturday this child is not gonna be in the house, I'll get to do my things and stuff like that. That again puts this child's life in danger. Because as a parent, when a teenager says that I'm going to Mall of Africa, you need to know, okay, you're going to Mall of Africa to do what? If they say they're going here, okay, you're going there to do what? You as a parent, it's your responsibility to also know what your child is doing, where your child is going, and again, know how to discipline your child. The reason why some of these kids are able to so freely lie to their parents and do whatever nonsense they do is because they know there's no punishment that is going to come. Black people that are in the middle class going on the high class are some of the most people I've ever seen. My gosh, because it's almost like I don't get it. I do not get it. You cannot raise a child that is not disciplined. Like, that does not get disciplined. Then you're raising a spoiled brat that you are never ever gonna be able to never. And you're not helping your child. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping the community. You're not helping anybody. You're not helping anybody by spoiling your brat. So even though there are parents that I know that will see all this, they know, oh, I saw my child maybe in a video that my child was part of the group of the children that were actually running around Mall of Africa. The punishment that the child is going to get is, okay, can you please explain to me what is going on with you? Why would you do that, baby? And the other thing again that I can tell you is that no matter how much money you have, you cannot buy everyone and everything in the world. One day that child you love so much, the one that you can't even discipline, is gonna commit a crime that is gonna land them in jail for the rest of their lives, and there will be nothing that you can actually do unless if you're prepared to pull a Dr. Nandi and the Tabo Besta, which obviously is still gonna be found out. So all I'm just simply saying is that I do think that black parents, especially those that are in middle to upper class levels, need to discipline their freaking children. That's it. When you're raising a teenager, it doesn't matter if your teenager is rich, your teenager is whatever. That's a teenager. This child is going through hormones, and it is your responsibility as a person to make sure that you actually, get them into the right direction. At least try. At least try. At least say, you know what, I have disciplined this child. I have beaten the living crap out of this child. I have done this and I have done that to try help this child. Little guys who grew up being beaten by our mothers and our fathers, we did not die. We did not die. And if anything now, I am so appreciative of the fact that I was so scared of my father when I was growing up. Because if not, Lord knows what I would have done. I have seen some of my friends that grew up without that fear of a parent because either the parent that was supposed to be feared was not around, and they did a lot of mistakes when they were still very young. Mistakes that even till today they have to still pay for them. Some of them contracted HIV whilst they were still teenagers. Some of them had children, which you cannot take a child back. I understand your children are blessings, but if you sat down with a lot of people that became mothers in their teenage years, they will tell you, I love my child, but if I could redo it, I was not going to have my child at that age that I actually did. And so stop failing your children simply because you want to come off as the cool mom. You want to come off as the cool dad. And then you're spoiling your child, and then your brat is now out here running around Mall of Africa disturbing people's businesses, which, do you guys understand, in business, one day if you lose revenue on that day, it can literally screw over you for the next 2 to 3 months, especially on a weekend. That's when most of these restaurants are making their monies. That's when most of these shops are literally making their monies. Due to the chaos that was in Mall of Africa, buyers had to leave. Some buyers had to leave. They were like, you know what? We're not dealing with these spoiled brats. I'm gonna just go ahead and get in my car and leave, which means that the sales for that day were lost, and that person maybe went to a different place and bought the item they wanted to buy there by Mall of Africa. So it means that that store literally lost revenue. And so I see a lot of people talking about this, and they're making it seem like, oh, it's a joke, it's something to laugh about. It is not. This is literally a prime example of parents that cannot discipline their kids, and there's absolutely no excuse. Because you see that your child was there acting like a hooligan, go to the police station and say, listen, can you please help me with this child? I'm having a bit of a problem with this child. Can this child spend this weekend in jail, like in a cell? They don't take them to jail, they put their child in a cell, and you ask them, Monday this child comes out, no record, no nothing, but the child will have learned to say, if this is how you want to continue living your life, this is where you're going to end up. Because sometimes you need to make tough decisions to help your children. But then again, right, Owamie just talks too much. So litla strong. So now these spoiled brats that are running around like hooligans, they'll be getting raped Kwakwa Sun City for a very long time. You should think about that. You should very much think about that. Because this is South Africa, Mtakabao. This is South Africa. If right now they're like, oh, the child that got stabbed allegedly is dead, and then they look at the CCTV footage and they see the group and they're able to identify your child can literally be charged, part of the group. And so as a parent, when you're failing to educate and raise your child in a way that you're not raising a spoiled brat, again, you're not helping you're not helping that child, you're also not helping the community. And nobody wants a spoiled brat around them. If you guys were gonna just live with your spoiled brats in your houses and they never go out, it was gonna be fine, we don't care. But now the problem is that your brats are now out running around like hooligans and spoiling businesses for people that are actually hard working out here. This is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. I do hope that they do catch some of these kids, arrest them, and make sure that if possible they get all of them. Let them just get detained throughout this whole school holiday. Detain all of them, and then when they come out, don't give them any records, just have them sit there and then eat that one slice of bread that comes in a day or something, I don't know. But yeah, when I saw this, I was just like, this is prime example of parents that want to be cool with their kids. You cannot be cool with a teenager, because it's war. We have been teenagers before, we know this. Your emotions are everywhere, your hormones are wilding. But we do appreciate our parents when we get older. And you disciplining your child, you beating your child because your child is doing wrong, you grounding your child, taking away all the gadgets and everything. It's not you abusing your child, it's you disciplining your child. Because I see that most of these middle towards upper class families, parents, they are very woke. No, I can't abuse my child. You're not abusing your brat. You are trying. Anyway, especially when a child is now in their teenage levels, you've spoiled that child beyond beyond repair. The only thing that can help that child now is them damn police. This is just crazy anyway. Go ahead and comment down below what do you guys think of this whole situation. From me, Owamie, I love you guys. Stay blessed, and I will see you guys in my next upload. Bye, ninjas.